What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I am Craig, and I apologize for being late with the video today. As usual, on Monday, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the markets. At the end of the video, we're going to take a quick look at Coinbase, which is ticker coin. A lot of people have asked for that. All you have to do to see your ticker at the end of tomorrow's video is leave it in the comment section down below. Then I will, whatever one is asked for most, we will go over that at the end of tomorrow's video. Do this every day. So every day when you watch the video, make sure you comment what ticker you'd like to see, whether it be a stock, crypto, or whatever, and go over it at the end of. Anyways, let's get into it. Let's see what's going on. But before we do, make sure you scroll down, smash that thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, if you want these daily updates. Also, share the video if you would. Let's take a look at the Dow Jones. So we're still in this falling channel. The falling channel, the bottom of this falling channel is around 28.2, somewhere in that range. If we do break this at any point, our next target is around 27, which is measured from falling out of this rising channel within it a little bit. And like we've said, this would be invalidated if we break through the top of this. Our first resistance would be around 31,000, which would be the center of the falling channel. And then we have obviously the bottom of the rising channel around 31,300 in there. But I do think we're going to eventually come down to retest this. If we do not get a bounce here, we just bounce straight through. Our next target is going to be that 27. Then we'll probably get another rally back up to the bottom of this channel and then continue down. The measured move, once we break this 28.2 range, is around 23,000. As you can see in the RSI, let me pull that up. We've been keeping an eye on this RSI, which we expected our projection up here, which we got, which was the top of the channel. Came back down, did not quite touch the bottom of the channel. So this line may be adjusted once we actually test the bottom of the channel. See what happens when we get down to those ranges. As you guys know, the longer targets here, the target of the break in 28.2 is around 20,000. And then, of course, we have our long-term trend line all the way across the bottom here. That would get us down to as low as the 20,000. I do think the markets are going to continue. That doesn't mean they're not going to be bounces. Not going to be one straight red candle all the way down. Those of you that watch the channel understand, or at least hopefully you're starting to understand how markets. I tried to provide information on the channel so you can kind of follow along with the markets and understand how they move. We don't pay attention to strictly technicals. It's been shown so many times. I've showed you guys so many times that you can see a move coming before you hear the news of why it happened. I believe or just an excuse for them to give you after they decide to make the markets whatever they're deciding, which in the charts, then you get the news excuse by it. I don't pay attention to the get you on the wrong side of the trade 99%. Take a look at the Dow Jones in the weekly chart. As you guys know, if this was to play out like it did over here on the right hand side, Great Depression, once it topped out, we had a massive to the downside. Although right here we got a huge rally up that probably got everyone bullish again, got more exit liquidity for continuing down where it went. I have that area circled over here. As you can see, made the same formations right in here. Side. Doesn't have to play out, guys, but this is pointing this most likely playing out here. So this would be a huge buying opportunity next couple of years if this happens. But we would have to break that 23. May get a huge bounce there. That may look something like this one. So just something to keep an eye on. Be careful out there, guys. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. And looking at the DXY, as you guys know, I've been bullish on the DXY looking at this trend line right here. If we were to come back down and test it for another bounce, would be somewhere around the 110 to 111 range. Do get that pullback here. We may get a little rally in Bitcoin before dollar continues up. Ultimately, you guys know I'm very bullish on the dollar. Let's take this is You guys know my measured move here from breaking out of this rising channel. We came back, that tested it. I do believe 122 is our next target. We may get some resistance there for weeks, maybe months, but nevertheless, I do think it's going to break. We're going to get support on that. If we look at the weekly, you guys see the big picture. I do think that it's a good possibility. Make new all-time highs in the DXY. The dollar is strengthening against all other currency. Usually, I've explained this. When the market's crashing, the dollar rises. Big money, smart money, people that make the rules are getting into the dollar. While they tell you about the inflation and banks are going to zero and they're going to go out of business, they're getting into the dollar. And when that market is finished crashing, just like in 2020, they'll buy the bottom with their dollar that's worth a lot so they can get more of the stock or more of the crypto or whatever they're getting into. And the dollar will then come down while everything else rises. These are generational opportunities if this plays out this way. Anyways, my measured move target of that is around 178 to 180. That doesn't mean it happens next week, guys. This is probably going to take a year, possibly 3 to 5 years. Who knows? But either way, I think the dollar is just gaining strength. You can see the trend line right here where we broke up and out of. Like I said, our next resistance. Maybe even get a pullback all the way back down to the top of this trend line before continuing up. Now, if you guys are interested in trading before we get into Bitcoin, we'll also be looking at Ethereum, XRP, gold, silver, and Coinbase. But before we begin, if you guys are interested in trading, definitely check out Prime XBT. By far the best exchange out there, in my opinion. They don't trade against you. You can have multiple trades in longs and short. You can trade the Dow, S&P, Bitcoin, crypto, Forex, gold, silver, oil, everything, all from one exchange. Definitely check them out, guys. I have a link down below in the description. I also have a tutorial video on my webpage. You can use my promo code SAVVY50. That'll get you $7,000 up to a $7,000 bonus for your margin. SAVVY25 will get you 25% off of your trading. Definitely check them out if you haven't already. All right, let's take a look at the daily on Bitcoin. So we're looking at this as a 5-wave falling wedge, right? Still looking like this is most likely going to happen. Now, there's a little bit of difference here. If this plays out like this, that would mean we get down to the sub 5,000 range this year. If it was to happen this year, it would be bottom, and everybody's 4-year cycle theory may happen. But I don't think it's going to happen that way, although it could. If we reach them lows fast before the end of the year, then I believe we'll have a huge rally next bull market stuff. But I do have a false bottom theory that's going to take a little bit longer, which we'll be taking a look at. As you can see in the RSI, we are within these trend lines here still. If we look at the daily, watch the daily trend line I have right here. Once this breaks, I think we're headed down to retest this bottom. And like I said, if that is a big, huge capitulation fast, and we see that by the end of this year, that could be the bottom. But another thing I want to look at on the daily, looking at this as a falling wedge, with this measured move up at the top, we did break here, but I told you guys, I've been telling you broke. I don't, that was a real break. I'm watching this falling triangle, but if that was the case, trend line over here, where is it? Oh, right here. Super bullish case scenario since we broke that, although we're just broke it, come back down riding, think it was bull trap. But if that was the case, we took a measured move, about 8,000. Again, I don't see that happening. I'm watching this falling channel, falling triangle right here. We're going to look at that on the 4-hour. Take a look at our targets. As you can see, we broke our trend line on the 4-hour, came back up and retested. We get the RSI off of there now and just take a look at our falling triangle, ascending triangle, whatever you want to call it, that we've been watching for quite some time now. So if we zoom in a little bit, we were watching this rising channel. We had some bull trap wicks up here, came back down, tested the bottom. We've touched the bottom twice. Watched Friday's video. We had this 19.1 in. I looked for a bounce there. Almost hit it exactly. the bottom of this blue rising channel. Now, if we were to come up and break this triangle within the next day or two, it's going to be around 20,200, 20,003. If that does happen, we could take our measured move of this triangle all the way over here, measure the widest point of the triangle, which would be over here. And if that broke, the bullish case be all the way up to possibly 35,000. Again, I don't see that happening. Never know. It's possible. Got to look at the possibility. Let's say we don't break down here, which I think we're going to. Don't, and we come back up trend line for this rising channel. If we're to break this, first off, we'd have to break that 20,200, 20,200 range, depending on where it breaks. Would come up to retest top of this channel. Again, that all depends on how long it would take to get up here. Say 21,000. Then we could look at measured move of that rising channel break. Less likely to happen. That'd be about 22.8. My belief is that we're going to break down through this. Right now, this is the area to watch. Once we break this 19.2 area, well, 19.1, we'll say. Once we break this area, my next stop is going to be the 18. That is the bottom of this triangle. Once that breaks, been talking about it for a while. We look at our measured move. Going to be, first off, measured move of the width of this rising channel. We fall out of that. That gets us down to about raised up a little bit because obviously rising trend line. Gonna get us to that bottom, our old bottom, about 17.5, some measured move. Will we get a bounce back up? Possibly. That's the bottom of this triangle. Maybe get a quick wake up or continuing down. So then we look at our ultimate target. To play out in a day, guys. That gets us to that 3,500 that we've been talking about for a very long time on the channel. Matter of fact, we made that target on December 2nd, 2003. Check my video from then if you go to the page. But let's take a look at what's going on. So if we get past this 18.2, looking for a bounce around the 17.3 to 17.5, maybe even come back up and retest this area before it gets down. Then, of course, we have our weekly targets around 14.5 to 15. Take a look at that on the week right now. This is how I got them. Measured move of this rising broadening wedge. We bring it to the point where it broke down. That gets us at 14.5. I do think we'll be hitting that sooner or later. See what happens here. Again, it probably won't be one straight candle, guys, all the way down. Then we have our other measured moves here. This one being looking at this as a bear flag. This our break of the trend up here. Take the measured move from that down. That gets also to about 3,800. Then take our bear flag here. Just like we did up here, all these measured moves played out perfect. This one gets us to about that 8,500. Now that would go into the possible false bottom theory, which I have here on the .com versus, well, the Amazon versus Bitcoin chart. These are both weekly charts, time frames on tops and bottoms. I've showed times in the past. I'm not going to go that, but the time frames are even playing on this perfectly. No, this is not a 5-wave Elliott wave count. This is a bubble pop pattern. I'm using the 5 waves to show you how the false bottom works, right? Once we break this weekly trend line, get a big rally. This was 100%. It don't look like it on the big chart, but it's over 100% rally. Got everyone extremely bullish. Just come down and make a lower low. That is the false bottom. This takes time. This was to play out and continue to play out in this time frame. Our false bottom is going to be between that 75, 8,500, maybe as low as 6,000. We'll see how it goes. But once we get down here, and that'll probably be in February or March of next year. Again, if it plays out in the time frame, then we'll get this big bounce. Everyone gets extremely bullish, only to come down and make our lower low sometime in possibly, middle or end of next year. Be watching out for that if we get a big bounce towards the beginning of next year. I know everybody is screaming the cycle. Don't think the 4-year cycle is going to hold up. Right here, we have the same weekly trend line that we had over here. I think it'll look something like this. Once this trend line breaks, everyone's extremely bullish and only to come down past the trend line. So just be cautious out there, guys. I know everybody's screaming the bottom is not believe it. I don't even think the bottom's close. Honestly, I could be wrong. My opinion, I'm sharing it with you. Do with it what you will. Let's take a look at how long this took. This is the same Amazon chart, right? That's still lining up with Bitcoin. The bottom was about a 2-year bounce around in here. Boring, super boring. Had a big rally after that, which everybody will be all-time high if it comes out like Bitcoin. That will be approximately 5. Um, and then obviously to come back down. But this took 10 years for this bubble pop pattern to break its all-time high. Doesn't mean we were in a bear market for 10 years. It means that it took 10 years to break the all-time high. So it's gonna go up in there, but it's not gonna go to new all-time highs like people. Not gonna shoot a straight line straight. Not how market. Careful, be cautious. Let's get into this is the monthly. I'll just show this real quick. We're below our monthly trend line on the RSI that we talked about. Anything to remain bearish in macro. Right now, our resistance level is about 55 EMA at about. One more thing I want to point out on this Amazon. The invalidation of this chart is all the way up at around 30,500. Break above that and hold support, then this whole theory is out the window. But until then, this is 100% valid. No invalidation point. Ethereum, as you guys know, my Ethereum, this chart is super old. This chart's over a year. Well, it's about a year old now. And these are our targets, still our targets. They've been our targets, have not changed. Once we broke this, we're looking to come back down, retest this 17 range. If that breaks, 674. Depending on how long that takes, that once that breaks, if it breaks around 3. I'm going to show you a scary Ethereum. Right here, these are all measured moves. One of them gets us all the way down to 18 bucks. Is where it all took off from back here. Definitely a possibility. Not saying it's going to happen, but I do think we'll see at least the 5 to 6 bucks for this bear market. XRP, this chart also a year old, guys. We've had all our targets in here. Still looking for about that 17 range final. Everybody's screaming for a huge rally. If we get another rally, I don't see it getting above the 55 or 58 to 50 range for the continuation down. Come down, break this trend line. Again, this is going to happen but as you can see here, if we zoom in, major bearish divergence here on the daily. Nothing about that, guys. Higher highs in the price action highs. Gold, this chart also a year old. I'm going to expand and look at a bigger picture of the. These are my targets. Since a year ago, I had the 1561. I've added the 1.68 target in there at 14. It's also a long-term trend line on here. As you can see, I have it drawn out. If this does break, we go into the weekly and look at the. So if the Dow really does have that big crash, we may see these targets. But first, we would have to break this. Have to break this 1400 range. We break the 1400. Our next stop's 1211. After that, 970. After that, 670. That would be our old bottom back. So wasn't that long ago, guys. We could definitely see these levels. So just be careful for that. And silver, same thing. This chart's over a year old. We're back below our resistance level of 20. As you guys know, my target has been 5. I think we could still go much, much lower than that, but that's what I'm looking at. We've had this target again for a year. Let's look at coin, right? This is the daily chart on. I am very bearish on, especially with all this going on in the markets that help justify Bitcoin and everything. I've also been showing other charts on Twitter. Check it out. It's at Crypto1. No underscores, none of that stuff. If it's at Crypto Savvy. So anyways, I have a target of 8 80. All that is measured falling ascending triangle. It's that simple. That's where I believe we're headed. About 888, probably next year. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget, smash those thumbs up, share the video with friends or groups or whatever, and subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you take that notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos. Let me know what you think of the video. Also, let me know what ticker you'd like to see at the end of tomorrow's video. Take it easy, guys, and I'm out.